Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's getting cold, colder and colder every week here in Melbourne, Australia. It's late April, almost May, and that means it's time to get moving with frost protection for the cold sensitive tropical fruit trees. And this is what we recently picked up for that, and that is staking, so we can fit the frost cloth that's in that box there, and hopefully I can share this with you as I begin the operation today. So guys, if you're new to the channel or you don't know what's going on here, I'm in a cool to warm temperate climate, as I said, in Melbourne, Australia, the southeastern bottom part of Australia, where temperatures get cool to mild in winter. Not ice cold, not snow, but we do get freezes, maybe 3 every year, 3 freezes, like around 0 Celsius, maybe -1, -2 Celsius in the outer parts of Melbourne. But downtown Melbourne itself, the city, where no one has a garden, of course, it's all high rise, the temperatures there never ever go below +2 Celsius. But that's not where we are, guys. We're out in the suburbs of Melbourne, not downtown, and here it gets a lot cooler. So this is the wax jambu that I'm going to be covering. I'm not going to be doing everything today, just gradual. I have about a week or two before some serious frost arrives, if any. Sometimes May has frost and sometimes it doesn't, but it's a risk, right? So instead of risking it, I'm gonna try and cover as many trees as I can before May, in this final week of April. So let's get started. The wax jambu we're gonna try to do today, but more importantly, the little tree I have here. This is the most cold sensitive tree I have at Fruitopia. This one, guys. So we're gonna get started right here with the abiu. It's been in the ground now for let's see, October to April. What's that? October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Wow, half a year. So 6 months, over 6 months, and I reckon it pulled through okay-ish, right? It's not perfect. It is starting to give the that look of early cold damage, right? When you see that, that's not a good sign. See those yellow blots? That's a sign of cold damage or some kind of deficiency. I'm not sure. It's kind of tricky. Cold damage and mineral deficiency sort of look the same, but whatever it is, we're gonna protect it from the cold, guys, because tomorrow morning the temperature out here where I am is gonna dip down to 5 Celsius. That's around 40 Fahrenheit. 40 Fahrenheit is very painful for the abiu. Let me show you the name again, because some of you are from non-English speaking countries. You can Google that in your own language, right? It's very similar to star apple, right? Milky, latexy, kind of delicious sweet fruit, which is not meant to survive here. It's not meant to survive It's not even meant to make it in Sydney. But we're giving it a go, guys. I've tried this so many times in pots, and every one of them was a failure. Even in the greenhouse, they failed. Unheated greenhouse. So we're gonna try in the ground, in an open, exposed area, right? Wrapped with frost cloth. That's the difference. We're gonna use frost cloth to prevent all that cold air coming, ripping through here and torching it for the next 6 months. Oh, did I tell you our winters here last for 6 months, not 6 weeks, like in Florida. All right, let's get started. Okay. We have some frost cloth here, which I bought on eBay. Just put frost cloth in the link in eBay and this will come up. I think they're in Brisbane, Queensland. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna have to do this with 2 hands, guys. There we are, Net Pro. Put that company in there. Net Pro. So I got 2 packages. I didn't know how much I needed. Right, these are 6 feet by 60 feet, and they're 60 GSM, which is a thickness. Right, most of them are like 20 or 30. You want the thickest you can find. Right, so a single layer of this is like a double layer of the regular stuff you find at Bunnings or other suppliers. So this is like the heaviest gauge that I know of available for hobbyists in Australia. All right, let's open one of these. So there's quite a bit here, right? 60 feet, 20 meters. That's a lot of frost cloth. But remember, got a lot of trees. And I got a backup just in case. And if I got too much, it's okay, because I can use that next year or the year after next or the year after next. So I've got a supply for the future. All right, so I now have to put up the what do you call it, the stakes. But before I do that, I want to check that everything here is fine as far as the weeds and whatever, right? Make sure everything here is fine, because we're not going to see this tree again until October. That's the next time this tree will get any pure sun, direct sun, or direct rainfall. I mean, I'll be checking it, of course, every month that it's alive and getting water, rainfall. After 6 months in the ground, its roots now have established as far as seeking out moisture. It's not like I planted it last week. Then that would be a problem. The tree would just dry up and die. 1 week is not enough for the roots to get deep. So you're meant to do this. That's why you plant your tropicals, guys. I'm talking about people in the temperate climate. I'm not talking to people in the tropics. They don't need to cover their trees. If you're in a temperate climate like me, plant your trees after the last frost in spring, so the roots can get established as much as possible, because you don't want to do it now at the end of the growing season in April, or if you're in the northern hemisphere in October. November is too late to plant your tropical fruit tree in the northern hemisphere. All right, that's cleaned up enough. So now, and I got the thin stakes. I needed thicker than this, but I didn't have any. So instead of going to another store, again, lazy, right? I'm lazy. So instead of getting the right size stake, what I did was I got extra little ones. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna double up. I'm gonna use 2 in place of 1 thicker one. Do you understand? And then use the cable tie, or zip tie as you call it in America, to bind the 2 together. Okay, this is approximately what's going on here with the double stakes here that I've tied together. Just a couple of ties will do, so it doesn't move. It's not budging at all. Very tight. And now for the thing is, you don't want the frost cloth touching the leaves, but that's usually at the top, right, where the moisture is. So we're not going to be getting any touching at the top because the tree is tiny, right? It's very short, but there will be some touching on the sides. Right, this leaf here will be brushing, but this is the side. On the side, it's not there's usually no wet or frost on the cloth because it dries out. And here too, we're going to have a couple of 3 leaves brushing up against the frost cloth. I can't bring these out here, guys, because the more I take the stakes out further, the more the frost cloth is going to what's it called? Oh man, some of these words just don't come to me always. The frost cloth will be shaking, flapping in the wind when we have those nasty gusts, right? I can't make the frost cloth really tight because I don't have. I should have got thicker stakes, right? So these will be moving in heavy, gusty winds. So yeah. Anyway, as I was saying, there will be some touch. Because again, I don't want to take these stakes out here. There'll be flapping is the word I was looking for. The frost cloth will be flapping in the wind. And flapping is no good because it's going to loosen and tear. And then goodbye, everything's gone down the drain. So yeah. So this is how I do it, by the way. You do it what fits you best. And go with that, guys. This is just a demonstration of how I do it. Okay, these are only loosely put in. I haven't hammered them in yet. They're only in like 1 inch, because if I have to move them, I don't want to damage them. So that's approximately what we're doing here. Okay, so now I'm gonna push or hammer down these stakes, right? At least that much, 5 inches. So the movement is reduced, and we can start working on the cloth. And because I'm going to be double wrapping the abu, this is, I'm telling you guys, this is not a this is not a tree that's happy with the cold at all. It has no, what do you call it, zero tolerance for cold. Zero tolerance for cold. As I said in the beginning, 5 Celsius is as low as it will get. It can take down to 0 once it's established, once it's that big, right? But for this tree to get as big as this carob, it's going to take 10 years in my climate, minimum 10 years. Then everything changes, but we're not there yet. This is only the first year. So, yeah, I'm going to double wrap it. I'm not taking any measurements, so I'm winging it. This is winging, guys. I have frost cloth that I used last year on the driveway trees, but I don't want to use that until I run out. So yeah, I'm using the new cloth for these ultra sensitives, And then when I run out of the new cloth, I'll use the old cloth from last year, which is, you know, soiled and torn. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to work backwards. Okay. I have my cut. I didn't measure this at all. I just guessed. Right? No measuring tape or workbench or scientific formula. Just winging it, guys. Just winging it. Right? And if I need more, I have more. So let's tighten it up. Looks like that's only going to be enough for one wrap. Gee, and I cut a lot. That's at least 10 feet. That's 3 meters that I cut. And it's only a single wrap. Wow. Okay, I'm having issues here, guys. I've been playing with this now for 10 minutes. And it's very, very all over the place, messy. So that's why it helps to measure, right? Which I didn't do. But this is not a problem. This is just a lot of extra effort and extra time, which can be avoided if you do measuring. So I'm going to fool around with this a little more. And by the way, I'm using these clips and pegs and more clips to fasten the cloth. All right, let's get back to work. Okay, half an hour later, I'm sort of satisfied. It's touching though on all 4 sides. Not happy with that. I told you at the beginning it's going to touch. The only way out of that was to put the stakes out further. But the further the stakes are out, guys, I keep repeating myself, the more flapping and the more moving of the stakes. And we're talking about winds of 40 kilometers an hour and gusts of 60 to 70. We're not talking about today. Today's wind still. Today there's zero wind. Yeah, so looks pretty good to me. Right, I put the stakes in at least 5 inches, at least that deep in, double stake that you saw. So they're not going anywhere. And at the top here, I double wrapped the top half. This half here is double wrapped. That's a single wrap. Double wrap on this side, single wrap on that side, single wrap. So 3 sides, a single wrap. One side is double wrap. Actually, no. All four sides are single wrap. It's the top that's double wrapped halfway. And that was a lot of frost cloth, right? That was a lot. That was almost half the damn, well, not half, but you know, a quarter of the whole box. It's only 1 tree. So I don't want to use any more material. And I had to use 12 of these clips, and I don't have many to go, and I've got a lot of trees to do. Jeez, what an effort. Guys, the way I'm doing it is that nothing, not even a hurricane can make this move, right? I want to be not 100% guaranteed. I want 200% guarantee that this is not going to fly away, fall over, or come undone. That's why I'm going to this extreme. You don't have to go to this extreme if you don't get wind, if you're not in a windy area. But I am. Not today, but for half the year. It's windy here, very windy. Okay, it's not touching at all at the top. This is the most important part, that the top of the tree is not touching the net. This is where the frost will lay. The frost doesn't lay on the side. There's no frost on the sides. Frost doesn't go on the side of the structure. It all sits here. So it's more important to do the double insulation at the top than on the side, right? That's just common sense. It's just common sense, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna use another one of these clips here. Yeah, I'm trying to find weak spots. Weaknesses, guys. I'm trying to make it tight all over, but the tighter I make it, the more it touches the leaves. That's the compromise. Okay, let's pack everything up and move to the next ultra sensitive tropicals. This is the only one. Well, soursop would be close to ultra tropical, but I think a single layer will be fine for that. Yeah, but I got some other trees that are even more sensitive than the soursop. It's these two guys. These are equally as sensitive as abiu, and they're closely related. It's called star apple or canito. Very big in the Philippines and well, all over Southeast Asia. So, oh, and there's a tomato growing under here, volunteer. Can't have that. Sorry, Mr. Tomato Volunteer. Yeah, guys, it's a lot of work. But there's no other way other than moving to the tropics, of course, or a heated greenhouse. But the thing is, they're going to be in pots. I don't want to have them in pots. I don't want my camito in a pot. I want it in the ground. Right? Just like in the tropics. Guys, that's what this channel is all about. No shortcuts. Right? Baby them until they're tough enough to stay in the ground long term. Right? This grass I'm pulling out actually can act as insulation, which would help the tree, but I'm just so used to pulling weeds out. I'm always thinking sideways, right? That's what we're told to do, remove the weeds. When in actual fact, the weeds are probably more beneficial than not. Right? If you think about it logically. But anyway, I'll just do what we've all been told to do. Yeah. Okay, so that's clear and ready to go. Yeah, I'm gonna start with these guys first, and then work on the less sensitive ones like mangoes. Mangoes are much less sensitive than this. As a matter of fact, you don't even need to protect a mango after the 3rd year, but I'm doing it because of the new growth. The new growth at the top of the mango tree will get burnt by the frost. Only for that reason. It's not for the tree's survival. The tree won't die, but the new growth will. And it's going to look like absolute crap come spring. It'll be like, why didn't you protect it? It's your fault. Looks ugly. Yeah, that's why I'm going to protect it. Otherwise, no, it doesn't need protection. And as you saw with my Glen mango, after the 5th year, then you don't need to protect it at all. You'll lose some leaves at the top, but the tree overall is tough after year 5, year 6. The mango tree we're talking. All right, these two are not going to be ready for zero protection until between year 6 and year 8. It's going to take up to 8 years for these to be in the ground before I can just let them go. Just let them go like I let the avocado go. So they've only been in the ground 6 months. We have another 6 to 7 years to go before I can not cover them. So guys, we'll do the same here. right? Sun's come out. It's a beautiful day now. Very, very pretty. Let's have a look at the temperature. 16, yeah. Usually that's what you get in April, 15 to 20. So like I said in previous videos, comfortable. It's comfortable. Comfortable and pleasant is what most people want, guys. They don't want humidity and 30 Celsius every single day, like in Cairns. That's not what people want. And of course, work for their children. And there's a lot more work in Melbourne and Sydney than there is in Cairns or Darwin. So that's why everyone's here and not there. All right, so all right, let's start cutting up this this frost cloth again. Okay, it's going to be a lot easier to cut here because I've got a lot more room than I did in the front. Right, look at that. And that's 2 layers. 3. Wow, it's 3 layers. So, and we have another box left, right? And I've got last year's frost cloth. That's why you saw the steaks at the beginning. It's like, what? Guys, I'm going to need a lot of steaks by the end of this operation. But we won't be doing everything today. Only the absolute musts. The absolute must is that and the abiu. So it's just a rough guess, guys. Again, I cut it as a rough guess. No measurement. Just an approximation for each star apple. 1 layer should be enough because it's very thick. Like I said, it's 60 GSM, which is twice as much as the standard 30 GSM frost cloth you buy everywhere else. So one of these is like 2 of those. So as you can see, it fell over nicely, right? Yeah. So we're going to get a 1.5 wrap or 2 wraps, double wrap on maybe 1 or 2 sides. And that should be adequate, right? I could have gone double all around, but I think that's overkill. So that's how much I went over if I want to do just a single layer, right? That's excess or waste, or can be wrapped around a second time. Pick either one, whichever one you want. Right, guys? I think it's fine with a single layer, but I am going to use that up, of course. I'm not going to cut that off now. Might as well just wrap it around as far as I can. All right, guys, so here we are with 3 trees done. That took me 1 hour. Let's see. When did I start? Wow, it's 1 o'clock. Yeah, 1 hour exactly to do 3 trees and talk to you guys. Right? Prepare everything. I hadn't prepared anything before the video, so all the prep work, all the thinking, the doing, the talking took an hour for 3 trees. Yeah, so, and of course I'm going to monitor this. I'm not going to just let these go and disappear. No, we're going to wait for the wind. We're going to wait for the rain. It's meant to rain this coming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days of rain. That'll be a good test. That'll be a nice test. It's a single layer at the top here. Double layer on the edge. Double layer in the front. Double layer on the side. Oh, actually double layer on 3 sides. Single layer on that 4th side. So, what? 3 double layers, 1 single layer. This one has got 1.5 doubles on the side, a single layer on this side, and a half double layer on that side. So, but on the top, this is what is it? Single or double? Looks like a single layer at the top. Yeah, and a single there. So, all right, guys, that's it. I I don't think you guys need to see any more. You get the gist, you get the idea. So the most important trees have been done. I need to also work on the sugar apple. That's another problem tree. It's turning yellow. The leaves are turning yellow. That one in there. So let's zoom in. That one. See how the leaves are yellow? That's a sign of cold damage. Can you believe it? Already in April, late April. They're meant to be green. This kind of green. This is the Inga green. That's not good. So that sugar apple should have been covered before we went to Cairns in the beginning of April. See guys, that's how you learn what works and what doesn't work in your own area. You look at the leaves. The leaves are talking to you. See the lucuma, how green it is? It hasn't got one sign of cold damage anywhere at all. So this can wait another week or two, right? Or 3, we'll see. Play it by ear. I need to get more clips too. I've run out of clips. Right? I'm running out of clips, I should say. So I need to go and buy another 5-6 bags, maybe 10 bags. Right? You would think you would need 4 clips for every tree. No, I'm using 10 to 12 clips for every tree. Super fastened. Super. Nothing's going to move this. Even if a possum lands on here. Even if I accidentally kick it, right? It's not going to just collapse. I told you, this can take 150 km/h hurricane winds, the way I've done it. Right? I'm not doing a half-assed job, guys. Okay, so that's the job. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We have a lot more trees to cover. I've got a couple of sapodillas that also need covering. Thankfully, I don't have to cover all the tropicals like starfruit and ice cream bean and... that would be a pain. I wouldn't even bother. I wouldn't even bother doing it. Yeah. So, I got to do the Rollinia. That needs to be done. Yeah, this here needs to be done next. Even though this is cold hardy, the sapodilla, when it's established, it has a long way to go before it's established. A long way to go. And if I don't cover it, this is what happens. This is what cold weather damage looks like on the sapodilla. And you don't see it on the old leaves, you only see it on the new leaves. See that those red blotches? That's cold damage. They don't come on the old leaves. The old leaves don't get red blotches until midwinter, right in the middle of July. That's when they suffer. First, the new leaves cop it. These, see how they copped it already? Winter's like a month away, and they're still damaged, minor damage, right? Look. And then in the heart of winter, after these new leaves are gone, destroyed, then the old leaves get destroyed. They get red blotches as well. And that's how you lose the sapodilla, if you don't protect it. In Melbourne, Australia. See that? Look. It's telling me cover. I need a cover. There's the language there. You don't need to ask an expert. Just look at the tree. Alright guys. That's it. We're over and done with. Thanks for watching. Please like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And we'll see you from the next one. Yeah. These look beautiful now, don't they? These new Rollinia leaves. Look how shiny they are. They won't look like that in June, July. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. They're going to look like that. That's what Rollinia looks like in Melbourne in the middle of winter. Like this. If it doesn't get protection. See that? Let me pull it off for you. Comparison. Protected, they look like that. Unprotected, they look like this. The tree doesn't die. The tree won't die if I don't protect it. But the whole tree will look like this. All right, I think you got the idea. And by the way, all this damage here, it's not from the cold. That's from drought. That's from the lack of rain and also the hot sun. Remember those 38 Celsius days we had in early March? That's what that damage is from. All right, over and out. Too cold, too hot, guys. That's what we're dealing with in a temperate climate.